Big news for the Gators today as they pick up a recruit that was recently committed to their biggest in-state rivals. Florida got good news today as four-star QB Tramell Jones Jr. is now committed in the 2025 class after being a longtime Seminole commit. I want to talk about how big this is for UF, but first let's talk about Jones a bit. This is the four-star quarterback out of Mandarin High School in Jacksonville, Florida. He's 6 foot tall, 195 pounds. Guys, he's really good. He is the number 21 quarterback nationally, according to On3 Industry, also number 21 in the 247 Sports Composite. And this has really been an interesting recruitment. He has visited UF a lot, several times. And obviously, he is very close being just in Jacksonville, Florida. But he's visited on the record, but also off the record a lot this spring. And there was a lot of talk in the spring about how maybe he was going to flip to UF. And then he kind of shut things down for FSU over the summer, just said, I'm committed. This is where I want to be. I'm not going to take these visits. However, on the side, he continued to talk with UF staff who never let up, kept that relationship with him. And listen, we are seeing it pay off now. Those relationships do matter. I let my Patreon members know about this recently before any official predictions were in or before it was announced. If you saw the news, awesome. If you missed it, go sign up at patreon.com/Allie Peak so you don't miss out next time. I appreciate all of you who support me over there. Let's talk a little bit more about Jones. In 2023, he completed 60% of his passes for 3,195 yards. He had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The season before that, in 2022, he was at 58%, 2,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So his pass completion percentage is trending up. His yards are trending up. His number of touchdowns is trending up. His number of interceptions thrown is trending down. All of those things are things you want to see as a player progresses through his high school career as he develops. He competed in the he competed at the Elite 11 and did some really good things there for sure as well. Got on a lot of people's radar. He has really high upside if he can continue to cut down on mistakes, which should happen. We saw that happen from the 2022 to the 2023 season. That should happen in his senior year as well. He is also going to have plenty of time to learn behind DJ Lagway. And y'all, we saw last weekend in Texas how important it is to have a stacked quarterback room, right? So this is a huge pickup in that regard. And we got to give some shout outs to the people that helped land him. He is really good friends with Vernell Brown III, plays on the same 7-on-7 team as him. And I have been told by several sources that VB3 gets the hat tip here, that this was all him. He was a big factor in helping get Jones to UF. And listen, I know that we've all have our thoughts on the recent vote of confidence that athletic director Scott Strickland gave Napier, but I do think that it will help recruiting as there is more certainty around Napier's job now. This is the first big sign of that. But listen, there's been other signs this week too. All of these 5-stars that are suddenly visiting for the LSU game. We've got people that we're hearing, they're committed elsewhere, but now all of a sudden they have more interest in UF. That letter was strategic. So you can agree or disagree with the message, and I think that's kind of a different conversation. But letting it be known publicly that Coach Napier has some security is a boost to recruiting, is going to help recruiting. And we need that right now. UF's class is not where we want it to be. It's certainly not where the staff wants it to be. But as our friend Will Miles likes to say, you can sell hope or you can sell wins. And it's really hard at the end of year 3 to sell either without job security. So, knowing he's going to be here a year 4, that's going to open some conversations with recruits who maybe weren't considering UF before that announcement. So I think it's important. And I also think this commitment is huge because when you take something from a rival that has had a terrible season, you win those battles, that is important. As bad as we think we have it in Gainesville, what's going on north of us in Tallahassee is worse. This is a team with one win this season, coming off of a 13-1 season. All right. This was a big pickup. The next step in this progression is to continue to win some battles against teams that are our rivals that don't have a losing record. So that would be Miami, that would be Georgia, that, Tennessee, some of these teams who really are trending in the upward direction or just are, the top of college football, like, a Georgia, for instance. Winning some of those battles is going to have to happen if you're going to finish with a top 10 class, which is going to be a stretch at this point, but still not out of the realm of possibility. But recruiting has to tick up. Like I said, this class is nowhere near UF needs it to be. If Napier's going to work long-term, he has got to recruit like he did the last few years, and honestly, likely even better than he's recruited the last few years. Certainly better than this season is going recruiting-wise. I talked last night on my live about injuries, and, we kind of look the other way at the Texas game because of the injuries. We lost that Georgia game because of the guys that we lost the second half, but Georgia and Texas also had injuries. But what they had more of the last 3 years are blue chip guys. All three of those, the 2022 class, the 2023 class, and the 2024 class, all have somewhere between 70 and 80% or higher blue chip ratio for that class. So it's a next man up mentality. And if Napier is going to be successful here long term, that's what's going to have to happen. But Jones helps Florida take a step in that direction at the quarterback position. And I'll never tell you that your third string guy needs to be as talented as your first string quarterback. That's just not realistic in 99% of college football. But had Jones been sitting on that bench, Florida maybe could have done some things, when Lagway went down. And the opportunity now exists for him to sit behind Lagway, learn from him, and be ready in that next man up scenario. All in all, this was a really good day for the Gators as they picked up a blue chip quarterback as a recruit. And it's always nice when your rivals are upset about it. And Florida State certainly is upset about it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you join the Patreon for more news like this before it's made public. I appreciate all of you guys, and go Gators.